And I have to say to you, I think that God put me here for a reason. And I think the reason is the sine qua non of God, faith, and reason. I believe this book could be the one that reaches to those who have left God. And again, it's not a book to bring you to a church or a synagogue or a temple. It's a book to bring you to yourself. Because in looking for God, you'll find yourself. People don't know who they are today. You'll throw away the drugs. You'll throw away all the crutches. You'll throw away the beads. You'll throw away the dream catchers. You'll throw away your evil leftism, and you just might find that God might be your salvation.
That's right. It's an information war. I go out in downtown Austin, downtown San Francisco, downtown areas, Upper West Side, New York, Seattle. People punch me. They throw coffee at me. They slap me in the back of the head. They come up behind me and knock my food over and just say, F you, Nazi. And then their behavior is so Nazi-like in the stages of authoritarianism. First they yell at you, then they attack you, then they shut your business down, then they make you live in a ghetto, then they haul you off to prison. And Michael Savage was getting into the left, their authoritarianism, and all over the news, hashtag hunt Republicans, and Rand Paul being tackled and attacked, and Republican members of city councils being shot in the face by their neighbors, and Congressman Scalise, and on and on. They're getting violent. They want violence. They're pushing it, and you were getting historically with the Khmer Rouge, Cambodia, and the Pol Pot, the killing fields, as an example, but it always basically follows the same formulae. Please continue with that historic warning, Dr. Savage.
I will, but I want to say something. The book God, Faith, and Reason, it's a very benign-looking book, isn't it, Michael? They don't know. Let's say you don't know me. You see this in a bookstore. Nice old guy, God, Faith, and Reason. If people took this to work and put it on their desks, let's see how tolerant the left is from a benign book such as this, which is almost apolitical, okay? Let's just see it as a little billboard on a desk at work. Pol Pot, Cambodia. Nice professor, goes to Paris, studies Marxism, comes back and says, I'm going to introduce that economic system. So he introduces it. Then he hires 12, 13, 14-year-old boys and girls, gives them the Khmer Rouge, the red scarf. He tells them, go out and humiliate the teachers. Anyone who could read or write, anyone who was literate in Cambodia, was targeted by the Marxists. Didn't matter, all one race, remember that. Teachers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, accountants, didn't matter. Any literate person was first humiliated, personally humiliated in the street like you're being yelled at. That's how it starts. And the thugs, the Khmer Rouge, then worked them in the fields and killed them. Now, we had the Mountain of Skulls. That's what communism brings. That's what Rachel Madcow, Wolf Blitzer, and company will bring to this country unless they are taught who they are and what they're doing to this nation. They may not actually think they want that to happen, but they will lead to a mountain of skulls unless they are reined in. Somebody has to explain to these sub-morons, these sub-intellectuals, these pseudo-intellectuals, these uneducated dolts, that things start with an idea, okay? Now, you see in this country, who's the Khmer Rouge? Do we have it? Well, of course we have it.
The Antifa, the Democratic Party.
How about Ferguson, Missouri? How about Baltimore, Maryland? What was that? There was a reason for Ferguson, burning a city down, attacking police, the killing of police, the war against police. This is all part of the same Khmer Rouge effect in the United States of America. They couch it under the guise of only certain lives matter. They use race as a shield and a spear to silence those of us who see who they are, but never forget their end. They have said point blank what they want to do. They want to kill 30 million Americans. I read this in the 60s, Alex. This is nothing new. I forget the name of the group. He's still alive. He's Obama's good friend there in Chicago.
Yeah, that's the Weatherman. That's Bill Ayers said.
Thank you. Bill Ayers was a member of a group that said if we kill 30 million Americans, we'll be able to save America. Don't think that they still don't want to do it.
Well, our population's doubled since then, so it'd be 60 million.
Well, about the number that was killed in other countries under that kind of psychosis. So if it's kill or be killed, people better take the proper steps to protect themselves. Last February, I was attacked outside a restaurant. Remember that story?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm an older guy. I didn't pick a fight. I was sitting there with my dog having 2 drinks. People came and liked me. We talked, and some guy was on the end of a bar, older guy. I didn't say one word to him. I didn't even look at him and didn't know who he was. I walk out of the restaurant. I turned around. There he is looming over me, 20 years younger, a foot taller. One thing led to another. I wound up on my ass. Luckily, I didn't die. I didn't break my skull. The dog got scared to death. The poor little Teddy was shaking like a leaf.
Rand Paul had 6 broken ribs and a punctured lung, and then now he's come out and said, no, the neighbor hates me. He's a leftist, and the media is making excuses for it. He tackled him and then started stomping him in his yard.
Unbelievable. This guy should be charged with murder. First of all, he's a U.S. senator. How come he had no Secret Service? Dianne Feinstein has Secret Service? Wait a minute. Why doesn't he have any Secret Service? It only applies to the leftists? But let's put that aside. We're all
well, that's
at
how
risk
the conservatives and people are just too regular. He was mowing his own yard.
Well, that's a terrible story. He could have been killed. But the point of my being knocked to the ground was, who protected me at that time from getting killed, hurt, banging my head, breaking my ribs? I'm an older guy. How come I didn't break anything? Alex, I'm going to tell this story on the air today several times in my life, and I'm not tempting fate. God knows I'm not tempting fate. I've seen a hand come down. A hand came down, cushioned the blow. It could be the push-ups I do at night. It could be a lifetime of very clean living. That's a joke. But nothing broke. I was in Fiji 30, 40 years ago when I was a plant collector looking for medicinal plants way ahead of all of the people who think they know this field right now. Plant collector. One night we're drinking kava all night. I wanted to leave the village. All of my Melanesian friends, they're black people in the islands. They used to look at me when we drank a lot of kava, and they'd say to me, in Fijian, I think he's Fijian. They look at my eyes. I guess that was a transracial thing at the time. They love me. I love them. All of a sudden, in the middle of this kava drinking, I had an instinct. I wanted to leave that village. I said, so my friend Domenico said, don't go. I said, I have to go. He said, I can't go right now, man. We've been drinking this all night. I said, I got to get out of here. So I go, I walk in the dark along an edge. I go back to my other village. The next morning, he comes to me. He was like shaking. He said, come back with me. I want you to see what you walked on. He said, you were walking on a path that fell about 500 feet to the sea. It was 6 inches wide, this little path that you were on, and you didn't fall. I look back on that moment, and I have to say to you, I think that God put me here for a reason, and I think the reason is the sine qua non of God, faith, and reason. I believe this book could be the one that reaches to those who have left God. And again, it's not a book to bring you to a church or a synagogue or a temple. It's a book to bring you to yourself. Because in looking for God, you'll find yourself. People don't know who they are today. You'll throw away the drugs. You'll throw away all the crutches. You'll throw away the beads. You'll throw away the dream catchers. You'll throw away your evil leftism, and you just might find that God might be your salvation. Because believe me, as I sit here, there's a reason for everything, and God is above all of us. As Rocky Graziano, the great middleweight fighter, said, somebody up there likes me. And I hope that somebody up there likes you, Alec. And I hope somebody up there likes me. And I hope somebody up there really still likes America, despite what we have done to ourselves by permitting this virus of left-wing fascism to take over the country.
Well, I think you've hit the heart here. It's not just that liberalism is a mental illness. Liberals hate God, and they hate existing success, and they don't want to join with it, even though we're not trying to make them. We have free will. They don't like that we made some of the better free will discussions and some of the better free will choices in our life, and they don't like free will and want to force us into their authoritarianism, and then they believe they're in power by bullying us intellectually and spiritually. As they see us rebelling, they're having an existential crisis because they feel like they're dying. As their control over us is dissipated, they're going through a true breakdown.
Look at all the major inventions of the world: trains, cars, planes, telegraph, computers, medical advances. I'm sorry to break the news to all of those out there who don't want to know the news. All invented by dead white males. You want to make it real down home here? I can name one invention after the other. Almost all of them invented by dead white males. Now, it is true that thousands of years ago, or 1,000 years ago, actually, China was more advanced than any country on earth. 6-masted sailing ships, coal mines. And do you know when those advancements in China came to an end? When the Mandarins took over. Who were the Mandarins at that time? The Mandarins were the central government types, the long fingernails. They sat up there in the Washington, D.C. of China, and they controlled everyone's life. They killed all creativity, all inventiveness in China.
We'd already be out of the solar system with Mars bases if the Mandarins hadn't taken over.
That's right. So the Mandarins are now trying to take over again through the media. The Mandarins are right there. Jake Tapper, Mandarin. Wolfie Blitzer,
legalist.
Mandarin. I'm not talking about Mandarin oranges.
They're control freak cultists, a new dark age. They want to run everything.
Very dangerous people. Never forget who the enemy is. They have names. They have faces. Never forget who they are. They are the intellectual avant-garde that will lead to the mountain of skulls unless they're called out and spit upon verbally and intellectually. That's all I want to say about it. You know, at a certain time, you got to roll your sleeves up and get down in the gutter and not be so intellectual about it. These people are out for blood.
Michael Savage, thank you for giving us a whole hour. I know you're a very busy guy. Your show's coming up in 1 hour. MichaelSavage.com, the new book, God, Faith, and Reason. And folks, get my new T-shirt at InfoWarsStore.com. It's how we fund ourselves as well. The new Don't Tread on Me, free shipping store-wide. Thank you, Michael. You're amazing. Thank you for all you're doing. I can't wait to read the book.
God bless, Alex. Thank you.
We need God, absolutely. God bless you.
Survival Shield X2 Nascent Iodine. If you're interested in healthy thyroid, if you're interested in well-being, if you're interested in having a higher IQ, which this has been linked to, get your powerful Survival Shield X2 at InfoWarsStore.com.